Alrighty, it's time to finish the major arcana. So we left off on number 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune. So now we have number 11 to card 21 to finish. Now remember, there are 22 cards in tarot, but the first one, the Fool, is 0. So there's 22, but it's going to be ended at 21. Alright, so the next card, number 11, is Justice. Justice up hand represents truth, honesty, balance, equality, harmony. When you pull the Justice card, you should feel this embodiment of what I call the pre-workout effect. If you've never heard me state that before, it's almost like a spidey sense. It's the tingling. When you feel an equilibrium, that this person, this situation is for my highest timeline, and it will restore something within me that I've given too far much to other people who weren't deserving of it. An example of, if you're doing a reading that's about you pull the Justice card and the reading's about yourself, I would state, let's say you're asking, by releasing this person, will it bring balance back to me? Will it restore all of the energy I've given this person? You pull the Justice card, they're representing it, saying yes. By you releasing that person is throwing off your equilibrium. And for you to progress farther, they can't be part of your plane. They're too much cargo. You know how a plane can only have so many pounds or etc. tons that it can carry, and if it goes over that, it could be detrimental. So they check and make sure that fuel, the weight, etc., the distribution of the weight all comes into play. You have to see your body, your future and highest timeline as that airplane. Remember, human souls are not pawns. This 3D world is a game of chess. The pawns are all the outside moving parts, the vehicles, where you live, who's around you, not the souls of the individuals, the humans of the individuals. When you see that and you can remember, every person's been a hurt child. Every person has had a moment in their life of somebody throwing them in imbalance. Not giving excuses, understandances to those individuals. So long story short, Justice up hand represents bringing back what is yours, reclaiming your power. And if it's another individual, it means that you two have enough cargo, have enough room on your planes to fly together. If you would pull Justice in reverse, it would represent an imbalance, discrimination, dishonesty, corruption. If we had a reading asking, hey, is this person have true intentions, and we receive Justice in reverse, that represents no, this person wants to take, they don't want to give, a balance, give and take. And the element that rules Justice is air. The placement, the astrological placement, is Libra, and the planet is Venus. Alright, I'm being called to remember to tell you, remember how we bookmark the companion cards. Remember that every single card will have either one or more cards that if they get paired together in a reading, it means something even far deeper. I just want to bookmark again to you remember the phrase companion cards. Alright, now, number 12 is the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is being at peace with fate, perspective, reflection, acceptance. When you pull the Hanged Man card, let's give an example. Love reading. How is this person doing? How do they feel about me? You pull the Hanged Man, they're saying this person's at peace with fate, that your connection has served its purpose in this lifetime. They wish you the best. But harmony has been restored between both of you because you were to be in each other's lives. You would give too much to each other. Too much. You pull the Hanged Man, and for yourself, it's stating be at peace with fate and that you have fully accepted what needs to go. It means that you're happy where you are, but you know there's so much more to come. If you would pull the Hangman in reverse, that's denial, avoidance, panic, missed opportunity, fear. The Hangman in reverse in a self-pull reading is saying that there's something you're avoiding working. It could be releasing a person, it could be releasing a toxic habit, a mindset, but that there's something in your life that you're avoiding the reality of. If it was a reading paired to asking about another person, I would state that a person, like, let's see, how's a person feel about you? If we receive the Hangman in reverse, I would state that that person's in denial about how they feel about you. That could be hating you but actually loving you, or almost having a hyperfixation on you. The Hangman in reverse represents paying attention more closely to what's going on around you. The element that controls the Hangman is water. The astrological placement that controls the Hangman is Pisces, and the planet is Neptune. Number 13, Death. Death is a great card. It is so much more than it sounds. Death is about endings needing to be completed, like they are completed. Embracing evolution, releasing what no longer serves, transformation. Death card is always about, when it's pulled up hand, progression. It's stating that you completed a cycle and you can proceed forward with trust and the reasonable precaution, that you see the full picture. You're not blinded. If you would pull Death in reverse, now that's representing cycle repeating, or refusing to evolve, or unwilling to learn, a closed-mindedness. I would state, so if let's do a self thing for up hand. If you were asking the cards, have I completed a cycle? Is it time for me to move on from a job? And you pull Death, that would represent you are correct. You are knowing that is something that is, you've either decided you're done and you've gone forward with, quit the job, etc., or in your mind you've came to a completion. This is not my end, and I see the bigger picture, and I know I have to go through my grind period for a while, but it's not my end. There will be a day I don't have to do this job anymore. There will be a day where I'm living my dream, and you have to be in the mindset of already there and let the 3D world catch up. If we would pull Death in reverse, let's say for yourself, is my job serving me? And you pull Death in reverse, it's saying you have succumbed. You became complacent with where you were. You were refusing to evolve because you hit the most form of comfortability you've ever had in your entire life, and you're afraid for that to go away, so you're staying complacent. And in that type of reading, the Death in reverse would state to you, you are meant to go forward, and you have to embrace that and tell the universe, I'm already living in my highest timeline, and I'm letting the 3D world catch up. It's mindset. If it was a relationship, it would say, yo, this is a cycle repeating relationship, if it was in reverse. And the only way to evolve is to let that person go. So, the element that controls Death is water. The astrological placement is Scorpio. And the planet is Pluto. Number 14, Temperance. Temperance represents moderation, sobriety, divine blessings, healing. If I were to pull Temperance in a reading about myself, let's say, like right there with sobriety, or even about another person, how is this person doing with releasing their addictive personality or habits, etc.? If I pull Temperance in reverse, what Spirit would be telling you is they're doing good. They're realizing whatever it is, depending on what type of drug or situation it is. It could either be there, like let's say they were on the verge of having a drinking problem, but they didn't get fully there. They have cut much back how much alcohol they're drinking, and they're doing moderation with it. If it was a deep like addiction, and I pulled the Temperance card, and I see that, what they're telling me is they understood that their moderation is none. That part of that drug or whatever It does not bring balance. They found moderation. They found their escape through something healthy. They transferred it. They could have been a drug addict, and now they're all about fitness. They found a way to still get that adrenaline, still get that rush, still get the safety of release without toxic thing attached to it. If temperance is pulled in reverse, it represents self-sabotage, not having control, impulsion, conflict. I would state that if the same exact question, if I received temperance in reverse, it would be that this person could have gone through a period of trying really hard for themselves and then slipped back. It's stating that they still are avoiding growth. They're not feeling in control of their life because they are giving it outwards. It's somebody thinking about just now, not the future. Yeah. But temperance uphand is divine intervention as well. It's stating that spirit is helping this person heal, and the person themselves is helping themselves heal. Temperance, the element that controls it is fire. The placement, the astrological placement, is Sagittarius, and the planet is Jupiter. Number 15, the devil. So the devil is another thing I call the frenzy card. I want you to bookmark that. Frenzy cards. Frenzy cards is something that I completely came up with. So what I'm teaching you here, about 90% of it goes off the writer's deck. What you see everybody do, what they learn off of. 10% of what I teach you, and I will always let you know when it is my own interpretations. And because you have chosen to learn through me, there will be certain cards that I will let you know I take completely differently than what the writers and the textbooks or the pamphlets, whatever, states. I will always let you know, so you have the choice of either going and listening to the writers or adapting my technique, or even developing your own. Because the beautiful thing about cards is once we learn the definitions, we're able to understand the language and the nouns and the pronouns and the verbs of it, which is your communication, your language with them. Okay, so a lot of people see the devil uphand. Whenever I say frenzy card, it is my short way of telling you we're about to go into that 10%, where I'm teaching you my specific interpretation, but I'll also tell you what the writer's version and the standard traditional means of that card. Okay, so devil is our first frenzy card. Most people state that when you pull the devil uphand, it's only malevolent will, it's seduction, it's temptation, it's restriction, it's not good, basically. Which, with it being a frenzy card for me, I do still interpret that, but it's so much more about what all the other cards beforehand have shown as a story. There are some readings where if I pull the devil uphand, I would state, yo, this is something that has to be released. Like, let's say I got justice in reverse paired with death uphand. That's telling me that there's an imbalance. Okay, there's a three-parter for that little representation because I said death uphand. If I were to pull justice in reverse, a death uphand, and then the devil uphand, what they would be telling me, there is something currently in your life that is throwing an imbalance. There is something that's not being there's something within self that's being dishonest. Death is stating that if you release whatever this is, even if it's what other people have taught you to believe, domestication, embracing this change and relieving what you've been told the way things are supposed to be will lead to you picking the left path. What the left path is, my frenzy card meaning for the devil. Sometimes if we would have a lineup of cards like that, it's stating to me that the devil uphand can be the left path, the path less chosen, where everybody told you it's evil, it's wrong, that you're gonna fail, that you shouldn't go for your dreams, that this is just the way things are, and you say, no, I follow my guidance and them. No human tells me what to do. Everything a human tells you, including me, a boss, everybody, okay, is a suggestion. You decide if spirit gives you the guidance to follow it. But it always stems from that and this. If in that type of reading, I pull the devil up hand, I would state it's telling me, choose the left path. The true devil is right, where everybody else wants you to follow, and you're following that inner compass. There are plenty of readings where if I would have pulled the devil up hand paired with even the lover's up hand, that would state that you need to make a clear decision and understand that this person is, again, your left path. Somebody here really needs to hear this part. It's because I feel myself going almost into a channel instead of tutorial. So this is really resonating with somebody right now, maybe about love. If I would pull the lover's up hand and the devil up hand, I would say that picking that love is the left path. All these people tell you not to do it because they're subduing to their life, gave up on finding their divine counterpart, stayed connected to a karmic, etc. Those two cards paired together would state you're making the right decision going for your dreams. If I would pull the lover in reverse paired with the devil card, I would state the exact opposite. This is a malevolent will. This is a person that's not part of your highest timeline, that going forth, you should release that connection. So for me, the devil is completely based off of the whole story of all the cards put together. Now, another thing about the devil card in reverse, a lot of people take that two ways. Either the devil in reverse being like double bad, double problem, but my frenzy card is, it's never that. If I pull the devil in reverse, it means we've released the malevolent will. We've gained self-trust. You completed releasing something. That's what the devil represents to me, and I've explained to you the traditional as well. The element that controls the devil is Earth. The astrological placement is Capricorn, and the planet is Saturn. All right, now number 16, we have the Tower, which is another frenzy card. A lot of people pair the Tower with being destruction and grief and despair and everything going downhill. I have a whole other card that I want you to bookmark about what that means in tarot. Just bookmark it now. Don't worry about it. It's called the Ten of Swords. So many people, and this is my universal truth, register the Tower as the Ten of Swords. For a short understanding now, again, don't care about the suits, swords right now. We will get there in weeks down the line. Ten of Swords represents despair. It represents destruction. That there's shit going on that you gotta fucking get your ass under the fire and figure out. My frenzy card meaning of Tower is sudden change. It's rebuilding from the ground up. It is destruction, but for foundation to be built up. It's almost like, think about when a building gets a reconstruction. They have to tear it down. They have to get the boulder out, because if they didn't, there's nothing to repair. They are refreshed. They have more money. They have more resources. They have more people to make it better. So it's destruction for something better. It's not despair. It has to happen for your highest timeline. The Tower in reverse, my frenzy card meaning, rising from the ashes like a phoenix bird. I always see phoenix birds whenever I pull a Tower in reverse. Always. It's representing that this is a moment of, like, I feel like the Tower up hand, you know it's happening. You see it. You're like, this has to crumble. This relationship has to go away. This part of my existence has to go away. That's not part of me to continue forward. You see it happening, and you're downloading as it happens. A Tower in reverse is, you don't realize it's happening. You're registering it as Ten of Swords. You're thinking that this is destruction, but Spirit's blinding you to something because it's for your highest timeline. It's stating also, I feel, depending on the story of the cards, getting the Tower in reverse can represent, I just rose from the ashes. I have my aha moment. I already saw the destruction, and when the destruction was going on, I thought it was bad destruction. I thought it was tearing my part down, my world down. Pulling the card in reverse is like, you saw all of it, you're in the rumble, but you're sitting quietly and peacefully and know now, after it happened, I could rise from the ashes from this, and this was for me, not to me. The traditional sign of the Tower in reverse is kind of the same thing as the Devil, where it's like both sides are bad. Bad. The Devil and the Tower in the traditional tarot is like just despair and etc. And I don't resonate with that. I don't resonate with that. I feel like it's almost accepting a lower timeline. But again, that's my universal truth and I'm expressing it to you. If you feel the Tower and the Devil and all the other frenzy cards I give you resonate more with traditional, you stick to that. If it will ever change for you, you will know. That's the beautiful thing about cards. These are paper, guys. We give it the ability. We set an intention. It's been generations and generations that people have believed in tarot, and that's what gives it its magic. So, the Tower card, the element paired to it is fire. The astrological placement is Aries, and the planet is Mars. Alrighty, so number 17, the star. The star represents hope, blessings, renewal, divine feminine strength, energy, inspiration from a compassionate side. The star, when I would pull that in readings of how does a person feel about you, and you pull the star, they're inspired by you. They look up to you. They see you in a high light. They see that you don't play games. The star in reverse represents losing hope, or like a numb feeling, lack of spark. If I would pull asking how does a person feel about themselves in a reading, and I pulled the star in reverse, it would state that they're not feeling inspired, they're not believing in themselves, and that would pull us to understanding. And going to the next cards is why. What part of you is being blinded? What part of you is making you feel uninspired? Yada yada. The element that controls the star card is air. The astrological placement is Aquarius, and the planet is Uranus. All right, now we're on to 18, the moon. So, the moon is another frenzy card of mine. The moon uphand, traditionally, which is something I still take, the moon uphand represents somebody revealing a secret to you. It is about somebody keeping something from you, and there being deception around. But a lot of people take the moon uphand as like this person doesn't want to reveal the secret. Every time I pull the moon uphand, it's this embedment of this person is bringing you this secret. It may take time, but they know the end game is talking to you about this or bringing it to your attention. The moon in reverse is where my real frenzy card meaning comes out. A lot of people say that pulling the moon in reverse is being completely manipulated by another person, falling into a sense of paranoia also. For me, the moon in reverse represents breaking self-illusion. It's letting you know, if it's in reverse, it's all you are causing yourself the confusion. You are breaking self-illusion though. Like, let's say if I was asking a card about, is this person truly meant for me? Is this my divine? And you would pull the moon in reverse, so letting you know, no. You have thought that somebody was your divine counterpart for a long time, and remember, it has to be more than one card. There has to be your whole suit to understand this. In this specific situation, if I pulled a bunch of other cards and I pulled the moon in reverse, it would state You have came to terms that this person is not who you thought they were supposed to be in your life. For a long time, you had to believe they were, so you could be motivated and prevail to go forward. But that you have broken self-illusion and you are in realization that they've served their purpose. It's a realization card for me in reverse, and a lot of people say it's still deception. I don't understand why two cards, I personally don't understand, or I don't accept when two cards, no matter if they're reversal or uphand, mean the same thing, basically. I don't see the point in it. It doesn't make sense. Tarot and motivation, manifestation, law of attraction all starts from within and how we talk. So I feel it. The reason that these are my frenzy cards is because if I don't feel like it's raising the vibration, even if it has to be talking about really fucking hard shit, I don't agree with it. It doesn't make sense to me. So, you know the traditional and the Uncle Bronze way of reading the moon card. The element that controls it is water. The astrological placement is Pisces. And the planet is Neptune. Number 19, the sun. So, the sun is about illumination. It's about celebration, joy, strength, seeing your divine masculine strength. Going back to the star for a moment, star is more inspiration and feminine energy. Masculine is inspiration and masculine energy. I see the sun being almost a transfer of the star into consistency, because the star is what? Inspiration. The sun is illumination and then continuing. It's consistency. Inspiration is divine feminine energy. Consistency is masculine energy. If I pull the sun in reverse, it means staying in the dark, an apathetic mood, losing friends or connections that maybe did cause you a lot of happiness. Maybe they were part of your highest timeline. Maybe it's something that you had to, maybe you were starting, because we're human, maybe you were starting to be this low vibrational influence and you had to separate from these people. It's a realization of, hey, I'm sticking in the dark for myself. If I don't light the fire under my ass, I could lose people that are really part of my highest timeline. It's to help you. It's to realize. The element that controls the sun is fire. The astrological placement is Leo. And the planet, which obviously, the sun card is rolled by sun. And just to, reiterate, the sun is not a planet. The sun is a star. But the way to make it easier sound, to keep it condensed in with the meaning of all the others, like how we're showing the element, the placement of astrological and the planet, just pair the word sun to the planet section, just to keep it more concise and understand it, okay? So, the sun is a star, but the planet that controls the sun card is the sun. Now, number 20, judgment. Judgment is rebirth, it's acceptance, it's awakening, it's redemption, it's second chances. Judgment, if I would pull a card and asking about how does somebody feel about you romantically, judgment, they want to come in. They're like, I got this. I can get my redemption with this person. I have to show my authenticity. I mean it. But I got this and I believe in myself. If I pull judgment in reverse, that represents no second chance. That represents time to move forward. It could be self-punishment. It could be worry, fears, low vibrational tendencies. Judgment in reverse is, if I ask the same exact question and I pull judgment in reverse, it would state this person doesn't believe in themselves. They don't feel like they have redemption with you. They've decided it's not even worth trying. It's a reflection of self. It's not of how they feel about you. Now, if we were asking, how does this person feel about you to them? And they pull the judgment reverse, it would be they're not giving you a second chance. That they see that it's just time to move forward. Remember, that's why we pull many different cards together. I just pulled this closer to me than normal. I gotta get used to how close it is. But it'd be like that sometimes. Judgment in reverse represents, just to me in a sense, giving up. if there was a card where it was stating that there is redemption, I have a different card in place for that later down the road. But for now, Judgment in reverse, it's kind of like Spirit giving you confirmation that there is no redemption. It's not part of your highest timeline, to allow that to flow. Okay? Judgment up hand, there's something more. It's not supposed to end in your life. It may have been put on pause, but it's coming back with divine timing. The element that controls judgment, it's actually two. So fire and water both control judgment. And then there's two astrological placements as well, which is Sagittarius and Scorpio. And the planet that rules judgment is Pluto. Now, lastly but not leastly, 21, the world. The world represents wisdom, achievement, completion, success, getting your desired outcome. If I would pull the type of question being, am I serving my purpose? Did I find my career? Did I find what aligns with my soul and my 3D existence? And I pull the world up hand. Yes, you are living your highest timeline. You have found your reason, your purpose, and you're excelling in it. You're allowing gradual progression, but you're understanding you've already won. If I pull the world in reverse, that represents incompletion, needing more to the story, further effort needed, that there's more. It's not about an ending. The world in reverse is not everything's done and you're going to live with the incompletion feeling the rest of your life. I have different cards that represent in tarot, and then my frenzy cards, there are different ones that represent if it's saying, yo, you got to accept that you're never going to know the full story with this. That maybe you're being saved from information. Maybe this information being kept from you from Spirit is stating that they know if you knew it, it wouldn't serve you. There's a different card for that. The world in reverse represents there is still more to the story. It's not over. So the world up hand, completion, living highest timeline, getting the desired outcome. And the element that controls the world is Earth. It's actually not, and when it comes to astrological signs, it's not ruled by any astrological sign. It's only ruled by a planet, which is Saturn. So the world is one of the only major arcana cards that's not ruled by one specific or two specific astrological signs, because it's all embodied in the world card. That is what we have, and we have just completed the explanations of the major arcana. Congratulations. The next is going to be the suits. So next week we're going to start with, I believe off the top of my head, wands are the first suit in tarot. I'm going off the writer's deck because there's plenty, people will, when we start going into the minor arcana, there's a lot of different interpretations and how they're labeled in books, etc. We're going to go off of the writer's tarot and then proceed forward from there. Top of my head, pretty sure wands are what start off in the writer's tarot. But we will complete this for today, and I will see you next week to start the minor arcana. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being one of my teachees, one of my students. Don't take it lightly being a tarot coach for you. Alrighty. See you when I see you. Let's get it.